Hello. So today I want to talk about expressing yourself and specifically what that means when it comes to your family, and then even bringing it closer to what that means when it's there's the barrier of language there. So for me, I speak English and think in English. My parents speak in Spanish, and I was brought up speaking Spanish and learned English at the same time as I was speaking Spanish at home. So it's just bilingual, speaking both languages at the same time. But when it comes to like the barrier of expressing yourself, like fully expressing yourself, I feel like as I've grown older, it's become more difficult. Like, I feel like sometimes when it comes to speaking to family members, I can't get across what I'm thinking most of the time. I feel like with English, it's just the language that I conduct myself in now, and I, talk to my closest friends and cousins and such. But when it comes to my parents and my uncles and aunts and such, it's difficult to articulate what I'm like, what I even do as a job, what I'm thinking about a certain topic that's happening in the news or in the world, and it's just like I never thought that as I grew older this would be so difficult. And it's interesting that I kind of noticed that when I studied abroad 4 years ago, almost five now. That when, because I studied in Chile, so over there it's just Spanish all the time, and that made me realize that I think in English and I had to translate to Spanish, even though I spoke both languages at the same time. And when I'm speaking with my parents, it's very like fast and slang and natural. But when it's like formal Spanish, it's more of a challenge and a process behind it, which is interesting and something very cool to learn about myself. So many years down the line, like at 21 years old, is how old I was then, and now I think 4 years later, I still struggle with that and like want to continue to challenge myself because I think it's important to have difficult conversations and to just continue to, be mindful and like remember that even though there is that language barrier there, that what I want to say is important. And like give an example, giving an example, for instance, when I went home for Thanksgiving, I mentioned the whole Standing Rock situation to my mother. She never heard of it, so trying to explain that was very difficult. Like being like, Native Americans were here first, and she knew that, and like, the Americans are currently fighting for their land because they want to build this oil pipeline there, and like, do you see how that's wrong? So it's very interesting how I was questioning her and like teaching her something, and it's kind of like teaching a child, like breaking it down step by step, which is very, very, very interesting. And I just never thought that's something I would, have to do. Like my mom watches the news and everything, and like listens to the radio, but there's things that she still gets through a very specific channel, like of news, like Spanish news, and she'll listen to English news, but it's very limited understanding sometimes. And it's just, yeah, it just shows how much each culture gets from the world, and depending on what they read, what they listen to, and how important it is for family members to talk to each other and to continue learning together, and to make that effort is the most important thing. But yeah, let me know what you think about that. Do you have anything, if it's not language, another thing that makes it difficult for you to express yourself when it comes to family members and friends? Yeah, let's talk about that. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay, bye.